What's up, guys? Today we are going to do the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 walkthrough. Once again, like the previous two videos, of course, once again, this audio does not belong to the gaming video, and that this is actually more of an instructional type of audio that I am putting in the video, while you guys are watching me do Nightmare Mode on the FNAF 3 game. Let us first begin with the storyline of FNAF 3 for those of you that are new to the game and do not know how it works. The story is that you play as a security guard that works firsthand in a horror attraction rather than a pizzeria. This horror attraction is called Fazbear's Fright, in which is a horror attraction that revolves around the mythos, mysteries upon the FNAF mysteries that happened many years ago. And what's interesting is that the story takes place, FNAF 3 takes place 30 years after certain events of FNAF incident. Depends on which one. But you are in an office in which, on the far right side, you can access a camera system that I'm assuming, as what I can recall, has nearly as much as 15 cameras to check. And then on the far left side of your office, you have a maintenance panel. You can access the maintenance panel in order to reset certain systems if they malfunction. And of course, you also have a door to your left, and secretly you also have a vent opening on the right side of your office. Even though you cannot see it, it is there. Basically, that's all there is to it. Important thing about Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is that you will only have to deal with one animatronic. Only just the one. There's only one animatronic that jump scares you and ends your game, which is referred to as like a Bonnie animatronic named Springtrap, which is an old tattered green rabbit animatronic that waters a building. Since that there are so many cameras, you have to find him very efficiently, because what's interesting about Springtrap is that even though you only have to watch just him, and him only, he is very good at hiding in the cameras. So it can be a matter of time of trying to see that his eyes can be seen, whether or not it's like at the bottom right corner of the camera system, even though you can't see it clearly. Like I said, he is very good at hiding. I highly suggest that you search the cameras as thoroughly as you can. Now, another thing to know about is that vent and door in your office, you do not have any direct defenses whatsoever, which is kind of similar to the previous game, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, in which you could check the areas without, like, clicking buttons throughout the office. All you have are, like, tablets. There's no buttons to close doors or, like, a light button to check anything. Instead, there is a unique defense on the camera systems, which it says play audio. Now, the audio buttons that you could find on the top area of the map toggle button, you have to use these audio devices to lure Springtrap more away from your office. This is the only defense you could use to stop him from getting closer to you. It's not the only defense, however, as of course that if you click on the button beneath the audio button, this button is called map toggle. If you click this button, you can access the ventilation systems, in which it will also tell you to double-click a camera button in the vent cameras. It tells you to double-click the camera to seal a vent snare. So, apart from the other cameras, the vent cameras are pretty easy at finding him. You only have such a small amount of time to double-click the camera as fast as you can if you see him. If you do see him in a vent, immediately double-click that camera. I repeat, immediately double-click that camera to seal the vent. Otherwise, he will immediately rush past the vent in a matter of time. He is pretty quick in the vents, so the moment you catch him in quick glance, I suggest you quickly activate the vent snare by double-clicking your mouse on the camera of what you want to seal. Now, of course, the vent areas do lead to their specific locations, and that includes the vent that is on the right side of your office. The right cameras, of course, there are, I would recall, at least 2 or 3 cameras that access this particular area. So I highly recommend that out of any other camera, I think the ones that lead to the right vent, I highly recommend you prevent him from immediately jump scaring you. Now, next up are the systems. So the camera system can malfunction every so often, so you have to reset video error in order to fix the camera systems if they black out and blur too much. The audio devices, based on what night you're on, you'll only have a certain amount of audio devices to play until the audio system will malfunction. Night 5, you will have very few audio plays, which can be a pretty excruciatingly problem. Now, last but not least is ventilation. Personally, ventilation is the one system that can trigger Springtrap into jumpscaring you if he is closer to your office, that is. Ventilation is a disruptive thing, in which if it is occurring too often, ventilation error will cause your screen to blur out. This will give Springtrap an advantage of jumpscaring you if he is anywhere closer to you, which will be an issue. So any of these three systems, you have to reset. There's three systems, but all three of them are very necessary to reset, including ventilation, which is a disruptive thing to know about. Now, next up, of course, are the phantoms. The phantom entities, the animatronics, they are not real, meaning that if they jump scare you, they do not end your game, unlike Springtrap. Instead, based on their name, phantoms, they're hallucinations. So if they jump scare you, they'll malfunction any of the three systems on the left side of your office. There are certain ways of avoiding them. For instance, Phantom Balloon Boy will appear randomly throughout your cameras. If you do see Balloon Boy's, molten face on the camera, immediately switch to a different camera or flip the camera down immediately to get rid of him. Phantom Chica, I don't really know how to get rid of her. Important thing is to avoid her glance, and of course do not try and not stay on that camera too often, or else when you turn left, she'll jump scare you. Phantom Foxy is another mechanic to follow, is that if you accidentally move through the corner area of your office, Foxy will stand there in the corner and will lunge at you. I highly recommend that if you do see his glance, immediately go back to the cameras, and I assume that it can get rid of him. Phantom Freddy is a very easy phantom to get rid of. Phantom Freddy will loom his body and slowly walk through the window, kind of doing a little stroll walk. If you do see him walking through the window, you just have to stare at either the maintenance panel or cameras. If you stare in the office with nothing, no tablets that you are using, and that you're not doing anything to avert your eyes from him, he'll eventually sink down and will jump scare you. Phantom Mangle is like Phantom Balloon Boy. You have to avoid her glance by switching a camera or flipping the camera down. Either or, I would assume, would get rid of her. Next up is Phantom Puppet. The Phantom Puppet, you're going to have to do the same also. If you see the marionette, particularly on either camera 8, like the hallway area with the Chica head, lighting and stuff, if you see the body, immediately switch to a different camera or flip it down. Otherwise, Phantom Mangle technically won't jump scare you, but will actually loom in front of your face, preventing you from doing anything else in the office so far. Now, this can go pretty long ways, so I highly recommend to avoid glance of marionette. So basically, that's all there is to it. Alongside that, there are arcade minigames that you could do, in which can unlock another alternate ending to the game, but it is, of course, throughout that of the Five Nights. The guidebook tries and gives you some information that you'll have to move through the nights with ease. Otherwise, if you get jump scared, you'll have to do the arcade thing again, and then you have to, pass through the night. It does get excruciatingly hard. Even I personally have not unlocked that ending yet. But anyways, that's the guide for today. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Hello?
Hello? Hi. 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 Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi.